I pretty much, I've been to the other side.
Did you have mono with that?
I had mono and I didn't know it, and my spleen exploded, and I died. I died. Thank God for my sister. She yelled at the doctors, because less than 10% of the people that happened to survive it. And my sister fucking yelled at the doctor and told him to operate on me. And so fucking thank God I'm here. But because I lost the weight, that's the only reason I'm alive. Is for that. Sorry to bring it down. Jesus Christ. So yeah. So that's
another email from a dying kid to read on there.
I know. Yeah. And I told him like, use it. I've been in the hospital. Like, use that to your advantage, because that is fucking Spanish fly. Nothing but Spanish fly. Yeah. If you want to pick up a girl, have your spleen explode in the hospital, have them visit you. It's a fucking in a hospital bed.
If you want to enjoy sex, don't let your spleen explode.
Yeah, that's hard for like the first 6 weeks, but after that, it's so fucking.
Yeah.
But anyway, eat right, exercise, and just fucking do it, man. It's. I'm not gonna say it's easy. It's really hard, but it gets easier. And
Final Countdown should be playing in the background right now.
But if you want to see that photo, I can show it to you. And the photo on the license is when I went in to go get a new license. I went to go get a new picture, and they sent me a license with my old fat picture, my lowest weight, and my height for my learner's permit. So it's the worst real fake ID ever. Because they look at it like 5'10", 165, and you look like, no, this is fake. Sorry. And for a while, that was my only ID. When I would go to bars, I had to lift up my shirt and show the deflated balloon that is my stomach, and be like, oh, okay, well, that's gross.
Yeah.
I feel like we brought the podcast down a bit, so I'll just bring it back up. Pun.
That sounds so charming coming from a British person. It's like saying hello.
They just walk around Britain saying cunt to each
I know.
other.
And also, apparently, he also told me that they go blah, 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 blah. So we're huge in Britain.
Hello.
Two questions. One simple for Arthur. Are you going to be a regular now on the podcast?
I'm only there when Niggs is busy.
We only have 5 mics.
Right. So I feel like Niggs is much more of a consistent cast member than I am, and I'm not cool with displacing someone on a podcast. Like when there's chemistry. Chemistry is super important on a show. And there have been times when I've been on the Debriefings where I'm like, this is not working, and then everyone hates me in the comments. I'm like, see, they saw that it wasn't working. So it only sometimes.
Yeah, but I think you're kind of the straight man for the group, if that's the right.
I think Ryan Scott.
Ryan Scott.
Man, I always thought I was a straight man.
No, you just thought.
There does a few things and disappears. That would be called straight man.
I'm pretty sure next to straight man in the dictionary, there aren't stories of jerking off in a bathtub.
Actually, there are.
That's like funny in the dictionary, but that's not straight man. Ryan Scott is next to straight man is can't make.
I feel like I need to go to church.
This is comedy church,
You need to go. It is comedy.
It is comedy church. It is Sunday. It's 10:30. And those of you who couldn't make it to church,
Scott brought you some.
we brought
Great
the
food.
body. The body. And the blood of Brian Altana.
Shouldn't that be like Jaeger?
It should be Jaeger. It should be Jaeger, but we can't serve alcohol to 16-year-old because apparently that's all that's here.
Oh, sorry, what was your other
And this isn't PAX East.
Okay.
No, and this one's for Scott. A lot of the kind of comedy you guys have been coming up with,
Yes.
you say it's not video game related, but do you think a lot of your stuff is influenced by the environment you're in? Like, even though it's not.
Comedy's funny. I mean, comedy doesn't have to.
Oh, really?
Wait, hold on. You want that again? Here. Get out your pads of paper. Comedy is funny. It's comedy's. How's this? Comedy is universal.
That is much better.
Thank you.
And I mean, let's be honest, right?
I'm not writing fucking family circus jokes.
So many other podcasts out there do way better game talk than we ever will, such as GameScoop. You know, like they actually sit there and talk about video games consistently, and yet they still manage to be funny too. We don't have people that play that many video games.
We're not allowed.
It's a catastrophe in a room once a week.
So yeah, so we just go down there and I mean, it was something that we started when we were at GameSpy because we were all working together and it was a way for us to get to know one another, and then it slowly kind of turned into this thing where we didn't talk about games, but we all really loved it because it was like the one thing we all really looked forward to during the week. And then even after the transition, most of us moved over to IGN. We still wanted to keep doing it just because it was like that way for us to kind of keep that connection. And people seem to enjoy it. A very small vocal minority seem to appreciate the horrible stuff we put up.
Yeah, and my whole thing with it is I came from an entertainment industry background. I didn't work in video games until I was put in charge of being a producer and writer for a now canceled IGN television show. And so
Which is a partnership with someone else, right?
Yeah, they're down the street from us. And okay, I'll stand right here. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. So I worked in the entertainment industry for years, and my whole thing is I want everyone in the room to laugh, so I want to entertain the girl who has to sit next to the guy who's like, I love video game podcasts, and I know that there's a girl there who doesn't. So if I can talk about shitting my pants, which, let's fucking face it, we all shit our pants as infants.
Oh, well.
So that shit is universal. So I'm just trying to entertain the girl next to it, because my girlfriend will never listen to, I mean, sorry Greg, she loves you to death. She'll never listen to Beyond, she'll never listen to Scoop, because, and I'm on Nintendo voice chat, she won't fucking listen to that. She's like, that shit is boring, that's like NPR, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And because we're talking about video games. But she'll listen to this show because, and my parents will listen to this show. And they are, my parents are huge, hi mom and dad, they're huge fucking fans of this show.
That should really explain a lot.
Right. They're like upstanding citizens. They don't know where I came from. Anyway, I'm just trying to entertain. The Bryans and I are just trying to entertain that small group of people that have to listen to the podcast in the room. So if we're saying something that they can laugh at too, we brought them in and entertain. Yeah, great.
And the other part of it is that we're really fortunate to have GameSpy that we can do it under, because
this shit would never fly.
Well, that's the thing. No, IGN's a much more, like, they are an entertainment, gaming-focused site, and GameSpy kind of went into this transition where it became this, like, video game culture blog thing that they wanted to run it as. So having these things that were explicit and kind of way off topic, like, we always talk to our bosses, and they said that was perfectly acceptable to them. You know, we've run it by them and told them the content that goes up, and they seem to think that's okay for whatever reason.
Thank you.
What's up?
Hey, so you guys asked on the podcast for horrifying questions, and I was already thinking of asking this one because I know Arthur wasn't on the podcast. Do you have any horrifying pants shitting stories? Because Scott told his.
How did I fucking know that was going to come up? I had one near miss. I think that was this year. And I think I can talk about it because I'm not dating anybody right now.
Oh, yeah, it's a near miss.
Right, but it's still like, man, it was like fucking gopher or something. So I go running. I go running around a lake, and one of the reasons I go running around a lake is because once I cross a certain point, I can't turn around because I still have to run around the fucking other side of the lake to get back, which is a good way of tricking yourself into running farther than you would a person who asked about losing weight. So I had run about 2.5 miles around it, and then I ran back another 1.5 miles or whatever, and all of a sudden I just really had to shit. And I was at the point of the lake where I was like, it's 1.5 miles in either direction. And I'm pretty sure I've vented as much gas as I can. And this is Oakland, and no one is going to let me use the bathroom.
It's also Oakland, and you could have shit in the grass. And
No, because this is a well-lit path around the lake. There's no like shit-safe area where I'm not afraid either some nice couple like with a stroller is going to see me, or a crackhead is going to stumble on me.
So blame it on a crackhead.
Yeah, that's really reassuring when I'm punched by a crackhead shitting my pants.
It's gonna happen anyway.
It's over. So I'm slowing down because you can't run when you have to shit your pants. Like, you can't.
Or you can commit yourself and just do it.
So I go like 1/2 mile, and I'm just desperately looking around for like a secluded area where maybe I could bend over and do this. But eventually, I'm like, you know what? There's no clean. This isn't going to be a clean one. This is going to be an apocalypse. So I get a little further, and I actually get so far as to bending over next to a bush and think, I still see people coming in. So I'm just walking with my ass squeezed as tight as I can possibly squeeze it, like it's diamond tight. And I feel pressure, and then I feel slippage.
Go on.
I wouldn't tell this story if someone didn't ask, but we got like 10 more minutes. So I get to the light before my house and I feel a little more slippage, and then there's a hill that I usually run up this hill, and I'm like, I'm not running up that hill. And I'm feeling more slippage, and I'm feeling some creep. And I get to my gate, and I'm just in agony, and then I'm like, fuck, I have stairs. And I make it up the stairs, and I open the door and just slam it open and barely close it, and Anthony and his friend Paul are like in the kitchen or the living room or something, and I just like walk by them super quick like a fucking Nazi marionette or something. And don't say
like Pinocchio.
I never wanted to be made of wood so much in my entire life. I walk by them without saying a word, and I get into the bathroom, and it's like I basically like fall onto the toilet while pulling my shorts down. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in shorts because I'm running. But luckily I had worn underpants that day. And there was a tiny little bit of evidence, if you will. But from what I left in the toilet, it's a good thing that I made it, because otherwise that would have been a disaster. It looked like a prison rodeo.
Yeah, see, Arthur's like a normal man. The rest of us are just like giant man-babies who do not just have near misses. Okay, so we have like 8 minutes left over, and I do think that we're going to.
I managed to go until 29 without losing all of my dignity.
We're gonna wrap this up, and if you want, we have some IGN T-shirts that we wanted to hand out to you guys before we take off, and we would love for you to come up and say hi. We really appreciate everyone coming out, especially we know it was early, and we know it's the last day. So
we know that whole row there is just horribly hungover.
Except for that guy that asked about shitting my pants, I don't think I want to talk to you anymore.
So yeah, thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for listening.
Yeah.
You've been listening to GameSpy.
That story, didn't we?
Wrap.